Ron Moshier standing by from the Utica Observer Dispatch. Good morning, Ron.
Hey, good morning, Bill.
It's a rough weekend for all of us. You being a Giants fan, Tiger had a tough time. Syracuse had a tough time. Oh boy, the Bills.
Giants are very offensive.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Ron, we run a great 2-minute drill, especially when we're down by multiple scores and the defense doesn't care. We just march right up and down the field. We saw it with Dallas. We saw it yesterday. I mean, the bulk of the Giants' offense in the Dallas game and the Saints game came in the final 3.5 minutes of the game. When the game's been decided, we just march right up and down.
Yeah. I'm
not sure if it's play calling or what, but if you look at the personnel the Giants have, our offense should be doing better than we're doing. It's very disheartening. I don't know what to say. The NFL. By the way, I'm watching it early this morning on some of the roughing the passer calls. One on Baker Mayfield, where the guy barely chest bumped him and couldn't hold up. His momentum's going into him, and they actually give fist bumps to each other, like, "Hey, thanks for laying off me." And the guy and the defensive player still got a roughing the passer call. The NFL's kind of I'm going soft or whatever, but I just think it's. Some of the calls have been appalling.
I'm advocating a hashtag flags on hips because that's what the quarterbacks should be wearing. Flags on their
football,
hips.
You're right. Oh, I heard one defensive player in the NFL last week, I'm not sure who it was, said maybe we should lay pillows down and let them go down softly and then caress their head to make sure they're all right. And it's I don't know. When you're that big and you're that quick, how are you going to hold up? I mean, one guy for the Dolphins last week held up in, I think it was an ACL or something, but he's done for the year.
Because he stopped abruptly?
Well, he didn't stop abruptly, but he tried not to.
He pulled up,
put all his weight on the quarterback, and he hurt himself, and he's done for the year.
Yeah. So I know this is. I have a friend who's completely in belief that apparently Tim Green wrote a book a while back that alluded to the fact that these games are all fixed. I got to find the book, and I not that the games are completely fixed, but it's like little things. Like take yesterday's Buffalo game. The spread is 16 points. What was the score? And the Bills are driving. For the first time in the game, the Bills are driving. They're going to score. Somehow this crazy penalty gets called. And, sometimes you let a penalty go. Sometimes you call a penalty. Completely changed the dynamic. And the Packers go down, score. And do you think that, this friend of mine saying Tim Green's book says he heard comments like, don't get the first down here or don't.
Interesting. I will say this. I don't buy that the league is fixed and it's being thrown in that fashion. But
not completely thrown by wins and losses.
Right.
But keep an eye on that spread, and you watch how there's always something that would change. I mean, I'm not sure that I believe this, but
I will say this. I have noticed if you watch crunch time of a game that's a one-score game and a team needs to move the ball down the field to get into scoring position on a last possession, boy, the refs love to throw a flag out there.
Yeah.
They love to throw a flag on incomplete passes.
Mm-hmm.
But
the conspiracy theory, I just want to believe that it can't happen because so many people have to be involved. You know?
I agree.
And plus, I love the game so much. But you're right, Bill. If you look at I don't even look at spreads. Sometimes I look at spreads. I should say I look at spreads after the fact and say, geez, is that why that happened at the end of the game?
That's
it,
what
it makes you scratch your head.
It does. And the Bills game yesterday was a great example that would have changed the whole Bills score. I'm just saying. Kind of interesting. I got to find the book.
It was weird. The Colts game yesterday, too. I was watching highlights this morning, and the Colts game in overtime, the Colts go for it like around midfield on 4th and 4 in overtime. And the coach, Frank Reich, the former Bill, says that he was playing for the win. Well, you can play for a tie in overtime. A loss is much worse than a tie in today's NFL. So I don't know. It was a weird call, and he said he'd make it again, but I don't think so.
He'd make it again.
The reaction.
He'd make it again if he was told he had to. Absolutely, he would.
There was a couple times, Ron, in both the Packers-Bills game and in the Giants-Saints game where there were some close calls that ended up falling victim to not enough evidence to overturn. And admittedly, as a Packers fan, I think the Bills got screwed over on one call. And I think the Giants did as well when he had that forced fumble there at the end.
Yeah. It's
all right. Let's talk.
There are too many head scratchers, that's for sure.
Yeah, it just makes you kind of say, maybe there's something to that. You gotta wonder. All right, high school football. Holland Patton and Whitesboro both remaining undefeated over the weekend, huh?
Right. Well, first with Whitesboro. I mean, going to East Syracuse Manoa, which has really become quite a rivalry. Coach Tom Shane and Kevin Depard at East Syracuse Manoa, they've been longtime friends, and they usually scrimmaged during the preseason. This was the first time in quite a while that they did not. And if you remember last year, regular season meeting, on the last play of the game, 4th and goal from less than one, Whitesboro's goal line stand won it for Whitesboro. This time it was defense again. Whitesboro comes away with a 7-0 win at East Syracuse Manoa. I mean, it always seems to be a great matchup. I think Whitesboro's been rolling up the points on offense, but this time it was their defense. And it's funny the way Class A is set up now. Whitesboro's league season is over. They win the league title at 3-0. I still wonder why. Class A is 2 divisions instead of 1. But anyway, Whitesboro wins their division. Now they host a team, Pine Bush, from down south, down around, I think, Poughkeepsie area. They're a AA team, and Whitesboro's going to play this Saturday afternoon. That should be a good measuring stick for Whitesboro to see where they're at, because I think Pine Bush last year in Section 9 made it to the finals last year in AA. So it should be a good non-league matchup for them, non-league test. But they passed this test with defense, so that was a good sign for Whitesboro. Holland Patton, Marquell went and covered it Saturday, and I'm glad I had him go there, because Mount Markham. I feel bad for Mount Markham because they've got a very, very good team, and last year they were one of the bigger Class D schools. Now with the new line drawn with enrollment, they're the smallest C school. And the last 3 weeks, they've played 3 unbeaten teams and lost tough games to all 3. But anyway, give credit to Holland Patton. They're 5-0, and Nick Heronshaw, great wrestler, by the way, is the quarterback for Holland Patton. He accounted for 5 touchdowns in that win Saturday. I think it was tied at 16, and then Holland Patton wound up running away with it. But I think Holland Patton's trying to prove a point here, and they get a chance this Saturday, because Saturday afternoon it's Holland Patton at Notre Dame, both of them undefeated. Notre Dame goes to Canastota this past Friday night. Canastota unbeaten, ranked 8th in the state, and Notre Dame wins with defense, wins 18-2 to stay unbeaten. So we got I think we have 4 unbeatens left: Whitesboro, Oneida, Notre Dame, and Holland Patton. And Notre Dame and Holland Patton meet this Saturday at Notre Dame.
That'll
be a great one.
Yeah, that'll be a big one.
Yeah. And don't forget, we got Proctor at RFA on Friday night. Mm-hmm. 2 teams going in different directions. Obviously, RFA is winless and really hasn't done much offensively there. And Proctor coming off a win. It was pretty much a must-win over Baldwinsville if they want to make the AA playoffs. And so that should be a good one, Proctor at RFA. I'm sure Proctor's really needs another one to ensure a playoff berth. So that's we'll be there, and we'll be at Notre Dame on Saturday.
All right, we're getting close. Believe it or not, close to here we are in October, and it moves so quickly now with the way this is all set. The regular season's so short now.
Yeah, we only have 2 more weeks of the regular season, really, and then we're right into the quarterfinals.
Crazy. All right, read all about it in the OD, uticaod.com. Ron Moshier, thanks so much.
All right, thanks, guys.